filming. We finally have the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City trailer, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about today, but not just Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. We're also going to talk about Real Housewives of Orange County, because I need help understanding what is going on. I'm confused. I don't know if I'm losing my edge in my old age, but I'm confused. I need y'all's help. And then Real Housewives of Miami, because we had a double header last night. OC, Miami, lots of drama, lots of goodness, and we're going to talk about it all right now. So let's go back. We're starting with Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and apologies in advance to anyone watching this who suffers from gout, because we're going to talk about it. And probably not in the best light, So, baby, it is here. The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City season 6 is finally coming our way, September 16th. And the trailer was, it was well worth the wait. Let's say that. And that's saying a lot coming from my impatient self. But there was a very, very, very strong focus on Baby Gorgeous. And Lisa Barlow seems to be at the center of a lot of drama this year, both personally and within the group. There are scenes of her seemingly going at it with Heather. There are scenes of her talking to what seems to be like a tarot card reader, psychic, possibly about John, her husband, which we know is like Jesus in her eyes. So really, really surprised to see not only that they may be having some waves in their marriage, but that they are willing to share it, So that was the first big takeaway for me, is that, wow, because if you remember during filming, there were rumors that Lisa hadn't filmed yet, that she was still negotiating, that she was holding out for more money. I'm not sure how accurate that all was, but if it were accurate, I imagine that producers are thrilled that they finally got her on board, because they are walking away with her as the subject for the season, and as far as I can tell. But yeah, hi Lindsay, happy Friday. How are you? Thank you for watching, and let me know your thoughts on the Salt Lake City trailer. I'll come back and talk to you guys about your comments when I wrap up later. But speaking of Baby Gorgeous, something that's not gorgeous is gout. And I have heard of gout. I have not heard of gout male reproductive organ. Okay. And so y'all know, I've told y'all I was a communications major. I don't do math. I don't do health, science. I don't do blood. I talk. Okay. And so me over here literally popping my laptop open and said, what is gout male reproductive organ? And that is not a thing. I have since found out that. Thank you to I can't remember. I need to look and see. Thank you to whoever commented this on my Instagram and said, basically last year, Bronwyn had told the women, or reference to the women, that Todd suffered from gout, which is a foot thing. And at least this is my takeaway. I could still have it all messed up, in which case just smile and let me think for a second that I'm correct, and then I'll meet y'all on September 16th to watch this stuff, okay? But I'm thinking that Lisa was a little bit over the gout, and stuck that in her back pocket and threw it right back at her, and then added on gout male reproductive organ. You know what I'm saying? So listen, moments like that, gout, male reproductive organ, is the sole purpose, reason, encouragement, inspiration as to why you will ever, ever, ever find my booty on a couch watching this stuff. It's giving slut pig. It's these moments that these women are just so in their emotions, while also being so willing to vocalize their frustrations, that they just hurl out the nastiest insult that comes to mind, and it results in art. It's hilarious. Like, you're just so mad that all you can get out to someone is slut pig. You're just so mad that all you can get out to someone is gout, male reproductive organ. Like, that is beautiful. Not for the person on the receiving end, but for all of us at home, we thank you, you know? And this is why, housewives, y'all got to be careful about what y'all share with each other. Like, if it's a Tamra, if it's a Lisa Barlow, if it's like, there are women, like, I don't remember what I had for lunch yesterday. Tamra can tell you what you said in an Instagram DM the day that Instagram was created 15 years ago. Okay. And she's got screenshots before screenshots existed. Joking, yes. But saying all that to say, if that is actually what happened, is that, you know, Lisa used this from Bronwyn mentioning it last year. It is all the reason that you really, really got to be careful about what you share and who you share it with. That is what you're here to do, is to open up. But that's for all of us at home. You know what I'm saying? Because now all of us at home are thinking about gout, male reproductive organs, because instead of just keeping that one to yourself, you told Lisa. And now, like, I don't know, like, poor Bronwyn, when she woke up on the day of the trailer, no one had ever in their life said gout, male reproductive organ, other than Lisa. Everything changed the moment that trailer was dropped. It will never not be said for the rest of time. You think anybody said slut pig before Brandy accused Kim of doing crystal meth in the bathroom? No. They ain't stopped saying it since, though. Gout, male reproductive organ is going to be the same way. Mark my words. So maybe I'll make some merch. Not sure where you can wear that to. Don't wear that out to the bar if you're trying to take somebody home. Oh, God. Jesus. These women. Okay. Still on the subject of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. The cast photo. They all obviously look incredible. It's photos we've seen of the women before. They just like changed the backdrop or whatever. I love the purple, but I'm also like, God, like I was just kind of excited for potentially a new one. Now, they did shoot new intros, the new title cards. So Bravo posted them doing the video. So that means whenever we see their taglines in the beginning, whenever like a scene starts with Heather or with Lisa and it pops up their little name in the corner, we'll see new video clips of them, and it looks like they're wearing all white. But I just kind of wish, like, my thing is, if you're going to do all of that, stop and pose and smile for 6 seconds, and we're going to make a new cast photo. At least try. Because, like, again, the photo is great. The backdrop they chose, which is like this, it looks like a ski lodge cabin type of thing. It ain't giving the purple vibes. You know, like, but last year when they originally had these outfits and they were like outside in the snow and on the little, what are those called? Not a jet ski, vroom, vroom, vroom. Snowmobile. How embarrassing. Snow probably should have been able to think of that one. God, Jesus. Anyway, that was a lot better. I like the outside elements. Because, as I've said before, Salt Lake is the only franchise that offers that kind of backdrop to the story and to the show of, you know, the snow and the mountains. And, you know, it's very unique in that way. And essentially, the cast photo, all that's essentially their marketing materials. Those are the pictures that you see if Housewife is doing a talk show appearance. And they're like, coming up next, we have, you know, Mary Cosby. It would flash like her cast photo. It's just like at BravoCon, it'll be their cast photos. Like, it's just, these are things that are become, you know, really, like, I mean, cohesive and parallel with the shows themselves. And so when it feels like there's just not the acknowledgement and effort put into it that could have been from viewers, it's like, come on, because you got to look at Beverly Hills. They've had new cast photos, title cards, all that stuff every single year. And to me, it is shocking that there's no consistency across the board. Like, I think it should either be all or nothing, you know? Because, like, I mean, and I'm not even a Margaret fan, but they had her out here with pigtails and a face from 20 years ago up until, like, past COVID. And it was like, is the woman in the title cards in the room with us, because I ain't ever seen her. I don't know her name. You know, but then they finally they updated that for them. So let's move on to Real Housewives of Orange County. They are in New Orleans, and I don't know if I am just dumb or just really like not operating on 100 this week, because I was yawning a lot before I got on here. I couldn't think of what a snowmobile was, even though quite literally half of the term is my name. But I struggled to keep up with the pipeline. Okay. I don't even want to call it a timeline, because there's no times. Like, Tamara's saying that she heard Katie was telling people that Gretchen told her naked wasted was a night where Tamara had roofied her. And number one, it's like, hello, 1998. We're back here again. And number two, I got confused because Gretchen's like, well, I never told her that. And Katie's like, I never told anybody that. So where I get confused is, do Gretchen and Katie, did they know that this was talked about and are just denying it because they already knew, like, we're not going there? Or is the accusation that, like, they're both lying, that Tamara is lying, or that Katie is lying and just told someone this and said that Gretchen told her? I am all about trying to find the liar and the problem on these shows. I never knew I needed some help getting started. Like, am I wrong? I'm just so confused. Like, and so, yeah, Tamara's saying someone told her, but what is, like, are Gretchen and Katie being like, no, we've never talked about this at all? You know? And then this is where I get, like, you know, nervous, is like, because Kiki Monique is now getting pulled into it, and I love Kiki, and I just, like, I hate that, like, you know, bloggers are, God, why did I just say the word bloggers? Delete this whole live right now. I am so upset with myself. I hate that content creators and journalists are just doing their thing and now are having to, like, defend themselves and get involved, and they ain't getting the cast, they ain't getting the Bravo checks, quite frankly. So we'll talk about that at another time. But I just was very, very, very confused. This is the episode that Tamara quits the show. She was clearly, like, she was kind of out of it. She has since today posted an apology because Heather was trying to, like, reason with her and be a friend to her, and Tamara wasn't really gracious with it, kind of not welcoming to it at all. And so she apologized to Heather about that, and she said that she had taken a Xanax prior to drinking that day. And my whole thing is like, so you go on, Shannon couldn't breathe last season for you calling her all this stuff, and now you're, like, out here screaming and yelling at people and saying, oh, it's because I would mix a Xanax and alcohol. And then also, am I missing something, or did she not just tell Gretchen, like, literally earlier that day or the day before, like, you won't see me, like, drunk, like, fighting with people? You just drunk quit your multi-million-dollar a year job. Can you imagine waking up that, like, hungover the next morning and being like, not only do I have a headache from hell, I got a lot of explaining to do. I would much rather wake up to a stranger that ain't that good looking any day than wake up and know that I quite possibly quit my job and threw my income away with it. So, you know, as much as I said that we all knew she wouldn't ever actually quit, kudos to her for making it, healing that situation. You know what I'm saying? But I just am very confused. There's a lot going on. The episode overall was great. Shannon had another very upsetting moment in my eyes, the way that she talked to Katie. There's just something about it that really is not, number one, it doesn't feel proportionate at all to her issues. And like, quite frankly, last night, I'm like, this, are we even arguing about you right now? Like, this is something else. And like, she was screaming at Katie. It just felt kind of confusing, just to add to my confusion, for the love of God. But this is the thing. Unsung hero. I hate to be wrong, but now I am wrong. I admit it on a public level, just so we can get it over with all at once. Gina, I owe you an apology, because you know what? I literally just looked at the TV and she was on the commercial. That's weird. But there is a thing here with these shows and these women that they are possibly scared of standing up to certain people and play the games of certain people just to not be on the receiving end of whatever they're doing. And so to see, you know, Gina confront Tamra, who was drunk, and to tell her, you are drunk, and not only are you drunk, you're being very, very rude, which is like counterproductive to anything that you're claiming we are aiming to do here. Mad respect. And then she threw in the little joke about her, you know, one eye closed too. It's like, okay, I gotta give it to you, Gina. You know what? She's calling out Tamra and selling all the houses that Tamra Barney used to sell before she quit being a real estate agent. So I'm not saying you won't ever catch me throwing a little shady joke her way every once in a while, because I am me. You won't hear me talk about her not bringing what she needed to bring to the table. She is giving life story. She is giving group engagement. She is calling out the BS, and bless her heart, she's doing it all while sober and amid all these drunk arguing women. It takes a strong person. Gina, I'm sorry. I hope you accept my apology. Also, before we wrap up, let's hit on Miami. And Vicky and I actually just talked about this when we recorded earlier, so it'll be in our next episode. But like, I am a little upset with Lisa for not unfollowing Marcus. Like, anything with social media is immediately viewed as like petty and minutia and minute. And I think that is an easy excuse for people to be like, really, like, they're being dramatic. Like, I viewed your Instagram story, or like, you know, whatever. Yes, because while we want to diminish it, it is human interaction and engagement at the end of the day. It is the exact same as passing you in the hall. Okay. Why is there a refusal to unfollow someone that your friend is like, it hurts me, that like you don't want to remove yourself from that, you know? And they weren't friends first. They met because of Lisa. And I just think that it's hard to even have that discussion, because you already know how it's going to be perceived. Like, really? Like, you mad because I liked their picture? Maybe. Why do you want to? Why do you want to get one step closer to carpal tunnel to double tap somebody's photo that wrecked my life last week? Double tap my photo. Go back 8 years ago. I don't care. Help my engagement. Because guess who's not? I'm not getting engaged anymore, because now we broke up. So the only engagement I'm getting is on social media. So I'm going to need you as my friend to give it to me, and not the one who's now out the door. Like, hello. And I love them both. But Lisa, we didn't even want to follow Lenny when you was married to him. We certainly don't want to follow him now. Think about that. All right. We're going to wrap up. So, Lindsay, what do you think about Stephanie? I think Stephanie is great. No complaints. I mean, I know that a lot of people are like, she's doing too much. She's doing too much. She's got to do something. So, mad respect, you know, and she ain't scared of nobody. So I'll give her that. Lindsay, is Whitney a friend of? She was barely in the trailer. I love Whitney. If I were Whitney, I would be nervous after seeing that trailer. She was like not in it, you know? Yeah. So you're right and to notice that. Let's see. Great reviews. Thank you. I thought Tamara was sober. I thought she was baptized. You know, I'm just kidding. I need to get off here before I get in trouble. My Lord. Daz, hi from the UK. Always watch your show. Love all the Housewives goss. Love Vicky and tell her I said hi. Oh, yay, Daz. Thank you so much for watching. I will am actually getting ready to call Vicky when I get off this live. So I will tell her that someone in the UK, that Daz from the UK said, hello, let's whoop it up. Okay. I think that's the Malibu Surf. She didn't really quit. Yeah, we all knew that, you know? And like, I think last night they even edited it to be made up to be way more dramatic than it was. Like, I'm like, okay. See you in a few weeks when we get back to California. Or see you next week when, you know, we already got our call sheet. Like, I don't know. Lord have mercy. Well, everybody, that marks another week. 3 lives down. And again, I'm just so happy that y'all don't have to hear me whine and complain that we don't have the Salt Lake City trailer anymore. So, yes, don't forget, Salt Lake City is coming September 16th. Yeah, and lots of goodness coming our way, everybody. So do something fun this weekend. Do something to treat yourself. Tell a friend you love them. And most importantly, meet me right back here Monday at the same time, 3 p.m. Eastern, so we can gossip some more. Love y'all. See you next time.